In this video, I'll be going through a recent ranked game I played on Mo&Krill. I'll be narrating all my decision making throughout the game, what I did right, what could be improved, basically breaking down the entire game from my perspective. This is kind of a follow-up to my Mo&Krill guide from a few weeks ago. I want to provide some context to how the build comes together in-game. This is a bit more casual than my usual super structured guide videos, so let me know what you think. To give you some context, this match is about Phantom 5 rating, so not the highest elo, but these aren't new players by any means. So right off the bat in laning phase, we have Lady Geist and me on Mo&Krill versus a Haze and a Vindicta. It looks like they lane swapped. I'm standing pretty far up right here because I want to go for a parry when the Haze goes to melee, but I kind of miss it. I was nervous about pulling tower aggro, so I don't go for it. Essentially, versus these two characters, I'm just trying to shove the lane in non-stop, so they have to focus on CSing, and we can just harass them when the wave crashes into their tower. If I'm able to stay up front on the minion wave like this, I'll have really high sustain on Mo&Krill, so even if they harass me back, I'll be fine. You'll see right here, Haze goes for a sleep and then a heavy melee, but she's too low, so I just disarm, parry the Guardian, and then go to dive her. I think Mo&Krill is one of the strongest characters at early levels, so you just can be really aggressive, and if they want to trade back with you, you'll come out on top 9 times out of 10. I'm kind of greeting trying to finish the Vindicta here, and that almost backfires when I get staked and then the Haze chases me. But you'll see the Haze greeds even harder than I do. At this point, I think the correct play would be to either pick up extra regen or healing right and heal up, but I greed it and I just stay trying to sustain with my Scorn. My reasoning for staying is that even if they commit and try to kill me, I have disarm up and my laning partner is full HP. We could potentially bait them in again like we just did. Soaking up aggro like this is one of Mo&Krill's unique strengths in lane. You can see this actually working though, because just right then, the Vindicta overcommitted, tried to get a heavy melee, finish me off, but I'm just going to keep on healing off the wave and be healthier than she is. To my left, you can see my Lady Geist going for a dive in the Vindicta, and we'll clean her up pretty quick. Now right here, this isn't a bad play, but this is probably the biggest mistake I make in this game. You see I actually missed this parry on the Guardian. I'm able to recover with Scorn, but then we still make the same mistake again and dive past this Guardian to try to finish them because they're both low. But you'll see we both pay the price for that mistake. I compound the Lady Geist mistake by following her after she dives, and it just ends up getting us both killed. The correct play would have been Lady Geist doesn't dive, and then we wait for the next wave to come, and if they still stay, then I dive, and then she supports with bombs from a distance. Even if you don't kill them, they just go back to the base to heal. They're losing a lot of souls to the Guardian killing their trooper wave. Even with that massive mistake, we're not really losing much because that entire exchange happened at their Guardian, so we're able to get back in time to catch the next incoming wave before it crashes into our Guardian. I take this downtime to just clear this camp on the left. It's important to get these camps on a cooldown as soon as possible so you can maximize your soul farm. You can see on the map that Haze and Vindicta are slow to rotate back to their Guardian to defend. It looks like they went for a play on blue lane. Regardless, this gives us a window to take down this Guardian. This is primarily due to the Guardian already being low from earlier when we had the lane perma-shoved into them. Taking down the first Guardian opens up the map a ton and provides huge snowball potential. You can see this demonstrated right here. Right after taking down their tower, I go to steal their jungle camp to the left. I momentarily look for a potential gank on yellow, but notice Mirage backed off. So I go back to just taking this camp. At this point in the game, my goal is to control the left side of the map as much as possible. I do see the mess happening on blue lane, but I choose not to join. I know they now have Lady Guy supporting them, so they're likely to have a numbers advantage anyway. Also, I don't want to overcommit to the right side of the map. This may allow Haze and Vindicta to free farm and or take our walker for free. My ultimate goal is still to maximize soul farm, so I'm collecting boxes and making sure to catch the wave that crashes into our guardian. After catching that wave, I have a window to look for a gank, so I look to yellow and see Grey Talon already being ganked by Vindicta, so I go to support him. Using combo here wasn't necessary, but it's always good to start stacking your ult for extra HP. Plus, combo isn't a very long cooldown anyway. After killing Vindicta, we notice Mirage hasn't fully retreated yet, so we try to run him down behind his guardian. We can't quite kill him, but Grey Talon's able to finish him off with Bird. Now we're able to take down Yellow Guardian freely. It's about 7 minutes into the game, and we're only up about 3,000 souls total. You can see I'm actually even on souls with Haze. But we're significantly up in map control. This is what we'll use to snowball our lead further. There's a lot of things I could go for at the shop, but I choose to buy an early Torment Pulse. Primarily because I can afford it, and I know this will spike my damage a ton and help me farm camps faster. Here, I'm just shoving waves again, to give myself an opportunity to gank. I noticed the Mirage ult here, and I honestly confused for a second. I thought it was my own Mirage for a second, but he doesn't really pose much of a threat, so I just kind of walk away. Again, I'm just box maxing, a very underrated form of soul farming. Notice how I'm not even touching the jungle on my own team's side. I want to keep pressure on the enemy team's side of the map and deny as much resources as possible. If I were to go back and farm my own side of the jungle, this would give them much more space to farm. Here, I'm just getting some quick damage on the walker. Mirage isn't much of a threat to me at this point, so I'm relatively safe against him alone, but I make sure to leave before someone on his team has time to rotate. The goal isn't to force the objectives, just to keep pressure on them. At this point, I'm not doing much, I'm just kinda default rotating back to mid. It takes me a second or two to identify exactly where Grey Talon is fighting Vindicta, but after I do, I jump on her to help him. Haze almost takes me down here, but thankfully her ult isn't very strong at this point in the game, so I'm able to just tank it. This was actually a pretty risky play. I go to catch this wave on yellow when I'm very low in health. I keep my distance at first in case the Mirage wants to engage on me. Thankfully, he just backs off, so I'm able to just go in there and farm the full wave. You'll see in a second that I pick up Return Fire at the shop next. I've been liking this more and more in Mo&Krill, especially versus Haze. I choose this over Fleet Footwork because I have plans for the other 3 active slots. I already plan on picking up Phantom Strike, Warpstone, and Metal Skin. One of my favorite item combos in the game is Return Fire plus Metal Skin. It'll essentially make Haze kill herself if she ults near you. After doing this jungle camp, I noticed the buffs just came up, so I go to try to grab that. Ideally, I should have been right at the bridge when the buff spawned. Grey Talon and I both notice that Mirage is pushing up, so we go to try to gank him. Mirage has great escape potential, but if you're able to lock him down with combo, there's not much he can do. Grey Talon puts down a great trap here. Even though we don't quite kill him in the combo, he tornadoes directly into the Talon trap right after. Also, notice how I don't start the gank with Burrow. When ganking Mirage, you don't want to start with Burrow. He'll just tornado through you every time. This will negate your damage and knock you up, while also giving him a ton of distance. If you don't burrow first, he may still tornado before you reach him, but you can still follow up that by burrowing after him. Here I could have stayed a bit longer to force this walker, but seeing as it's a 2v2 and I don't know where the rest of their team is, I choose the conservative route and rotate away. The exact mistake I was talking about earlier happens right here, and it almost cost me the kill. Thankfully, I'm just barely able to reach him and get the combo off. You can see from the soul count at the top that we're still only about 3,000 to 4,000 souls ahead, and that lead is pretty much entirely concentrated on me. I've developed this lead by staying active on the map as much as possible. I haven't gone back to the base once, unless you count when I died during laning phase. Also, an important distinction to make is that I'm not just disappearing into the jungle and farming. I'm staying relevant on the map and pressuring objectives while I secure this lead. Here, I'm not necessarily looking to fight the Mirage and McGinnis. I just want to make sure the Grey Talon gets out safely. Walking your teammates out is an important tactic to employ to minimize deaths and catch overextended opponents. Here, Lady Geist and I just used a small window to take down this walker before their team can rotate. One of my teammates must have gimped this camp, but I actually break it by accident. Right here, I see both Haze and McGinnis on my lane, and see a fight breaking out on yellow. That means that there are 4 enemies on the left side of the map. The enemy team is unlikely to commit even more teammates to the left side of the map, or they leave the right side very exposed. So I believe I should be safe to rotate and make the fight on yellow a 2v3. That being said, Vindicta does rotate, but she arrives too late to impact the fight. This illustrates the strength of Mo&Krill in the mid-game. He can move around the map incredibly quickly with minimal items. Here, I'm just grabbing this jungle camp again. So far, the enemy team hasn't been able to farm this camp once. Here's a quick easy kill in the haze. Now you can really see our lead developing. We're now 20,000 souls ahead at 14 minutes into the game. With this big of a lead, our main goal is to keep the pressure up and shut out any opportunities for a comeback. At this point, I've ganked the Mirage so many times that as soon as I show up here, he uses his ultimate to escape, even though my intention was just to clear the wave. I pick up Warpstone and Superior Duration here. I've been preferring this over rushing Phantom Strike, especially when I'm ahead. Duration and Warpstone both buff your spirit power, and the Warpstone can provide similar utility to Phantom Strike, at least for now. Now that we've secured every objective outside their base on the left side of the map, I start to roam toward the right side of the map, where their last walker is. I try to grab the Mirage here with my ult, but barely miss him. It works out though because I'm able to get the Yamada with it a few seconds later. We one-shot her in combo, which prevents her from activating her ult. I try quickly killing the Vindicta here, but end up canceling my combo early because their entire team is just staring at me and shooting. I momentarily back off here so I can pick up Phantom Strike. Right here I notice we have all lanes pushing except for purple, so I choose to speed back and push out that lane. I could have forced a fight in their base, but this is a risk we don't need to take. They were fully set up and ready for it with McGinnis turrets and Vindicta on the high ground. It's much easier to wait until they come out of the base, then we can take uneven fights and get a pick, then maybe go for mid-boss. With 3 dead, this is an easy mid-boss angle. After we secure rejuve, the game is basically over. Even if we have a subpar fight and a couple of our teammates die, we'll respawn faster and should be able to push into their base with ease. If we didn't have rejuve, this fight is a huge potential throw. For some reason, Bebop, and Kelvin to a lesser degree, are nowhere near the team and are farming jungle, even though we just secured rejuve and have a huge lead. I definitely should have recognized this, but I was too focused on supporting the teammates that were already fighting, and didn't notice Bebop and Kelvin were so far from us. We go 1 for 3 in this fight here, and still come out on top due to the fast respawn. Now it's just a matter of grouping and pushing for the win. I think this game shows how playing active and coordinating with your team can get you some really concise wins. I've seen a lot of advocating for farming and scaling, but I think a natural counter to that style of play is the style of play seen in this game. We didn't give the enemy team time or room to scale. We grouped, confirmed objectives, and ended the game efficiently. That's all for now. Let me know what you think of this type of video and how it can be improved. Also, if you like Mo&Krill gameplay, check out my stream. I stream almost daily here on YouTube. Be sure to like and sub if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.